with my family's legacy being bestowed with the Naluvale Medal. This Naluvale Medal is awarded to civilians activists who have contributed to the political development of Uganda, either through armed struggle or civil disobedience, right from colonial times to date. That was enough to teach me that in my work, I should be aware of what colonialism means. So, as I continue to recognize the Naluvale Medal, now I jump on the new political movement, the People Power Movement, adopting the red beret, not as soldiers. We are popularly known as foot soldiers. We are soldiers without guns. We are soldiers who speak and speak. Unfortunately, yes, we can have the freedom of speak, but not the freedom after speaking. We are soldiers who reach out to our comrades, friends, and relatives who have been much affected, who some have died in the struggle, others have been abducted, others are still in the prisons. We are the soldiers who demand for their freedom. So, with that background of 2017, Bobi Wine rallying us to reject the age limit bill, I was once traveling back from Kampala, and when I was going back to Kanyanda after work, I found two men who attacked me, who questioned my resistance, my activism, and while denouncing President Museveni in what he called his Mecca, the Muslim house for the Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Ruero is Museveni's Mecca as his state seat. But actually, when you go back, it's one of the most underdeveloped places in Uganda. So the question is that, did we fight another man's war? The impact that the negative impact that affected my parents, including the death and loss of property, now comes back to me, their children or their son. These men attacked me and beat me without helping myself. I was stayed unconscious, left for dead in a coffee plantation. It was until the woman who was a neighbor who became the whistleblower, while she was going to fetch water, she finds me helpless, and I was taken for hospitalization and medication. That was a signal that my life is in danger. I started processing ways to get out of the country. Back in 2018, I applied for the visa to go to the US. It didn't happen. I was rejected. I applied for the visa to come to Canada early 2019. The visa was rejected. It was later in September 2019 when, after receiving a visa, I was able to come to Canada. To come to Canada for asylum, for protection, to start again. So, on arrival to Canada, I left behind the dream which we had to fulfill. So, the geographical locations changed. That an activist who was in Uganda, in Africa, is now based in Toronto, trying to find his own settlement, yet not leaving or abandoning the dream of a new Uganda. So from here, I continued my work. When in Toronto, continued my work, trying to find community, the Ugandan community, coming to colonialism and Christian Zionism, we can't fail to now examine the role of the church and the role of religion in the political.
That's actually a question that I want to pose to you in a more direct way, Samuel.
Yes.
I'm sorry to intercede. As you've said, Museveni has been in power since 1986. So
Yes.
that's, basically before you were born even. So his public alignment with the Christian Zionist network and with Israel, do you think that it's simply to sustain legitimacy, or is there something very real about the belief system, the Christian belief system that he is espousing that resonates with Ugandans?
Well, I can say that the politics of Uganda has been nurtured around kingdoms, nurtured around religious institutions. From colonial times, when we saw the missionaries, from after the missionaries, from the colonial times, we saw how the missionaries and the Arab traders really brought Islam, and it really brought these debates whether even the king has to be a Muslim or Christian. So that is the history we really carry. Now, the British, from Britain, with the British bringing, British influence in Uganda, and control, they did not come direct. They used the church. With that background, I can say that Museveni studied the colonial administration, and just now he's worsening it. He's perfecting it, if that is the word. We are seeing another colonialist of our color. The divide and rule, the use of the churches, and the use of those allies that afflict Ugandans. For him to just overstay in power in what he intends, life presidents and family rule. So, looking at the Christian Zionism, we shouldn't forget the history, the attempt of finding an homeland. For the attempt by the Israelites or the Jews to find an homeland in Uganda. That history is there. We also don't need to forget the attempt. We don't need to forget the opposition and the resilience of political figures like Idi Amin. Of course, Idi Amin, he's remembered in negative and positive ways. But one of the legacy that we should remember, that should be remembered on Idi Amin, is his stand with the Palestine. Why? Because as the filmmakers, gave their film a title that No Other Land. You remember that film recently taking the stage in 2024 at the Oscars. No Other Land. The Palestinians have their land, and the Jews, the Israelites, want to take it over. Idi Amin did not support that. Idi Amin did not support that, and when Museveni was fighting Idi Amin, was fighting Obote to take power, he had to side with Amin's so-called enemies, because Amin was a threat to the Israelites. We all remember. And so what Museveni did, he continued, he took a strategy of befriending Israel to fight Idi Amin and other allies to fight Idi Amin. So his strategy was the center, was the time of opening doors for Christian Zionism. Like he did welcome back the Ugandan Indians after Idi Amin has expelled them for reasons we best understand by the world. We see Museveni now befriending these Ugandan Indians now to really bring them back to support him overstay in power. So, speaking, with your question that is it benefiting Museveni? Yes, it's benefiting Museveni. I have shared to you the census, the population census of 2024. Yes, 2024. And I've showed you the religious demographics. You could see the number of what I want to call Christians is around 80%. And it is within these populations, the churches that crop up like mushrooms all over Uganda, that this, as Christian Zionism is undercover being built. I used to be a Christian. In fact, this topic really came at a time when I am now freeing my mind. Some people call me and ask me that, Samuel Kisitu, are you still a Freeman? Yes. Being a Freeman is something which I work upon every day. When I just entered Canada, fleeing Uganda, I thought now I'm a Freeman. That's why I gave myself that name as part of my liberation process. Very personal, because it starts with me, freeing myself and the mind. But in my journey, I want to appreciate the church, Dominion Church International Toronto, for hosting me. When I was homeless, I slept there. To better understand settlement of refugees, I went to Ottawa to be part of the Ugandan Indians when they were celebrating 50 years. And I saw, I was witness to testimonies, including the role of the Ismaila community, of course, Muslim-based community that helped them settle. But you see, we should now, let us not misunderstand kindness with the control, kindness or compassion with the colonialism. The two have to be well defined and have to be put in their places. If I am in need, I'm in danger, and you welcome me with a humanitarian heart. But when you want to take away my language, my food, my spirituality, my blackness, or my African indigenuity, then it means now you are colonizing me. It is hard.
So I think, Samuel,
to decide to now go back to my roots, to stop or to convert from Christianity to come back to what I call Obwangwa Nenono, the African traditional spirituality, which is partially represented by this Orubugo or the backcloth, or even, as you can see me, this was once money. So apart from just wearing the beret, now I am decolonizing, where at Sankofa Square, which with a place which really means Sankofa, the term which means return to your roots, reclaim the good in your past, use it to shape the future. So, thank you for this topic. Christian Zionism, it is something, by the way, many activists can be my witness that we have been in the same boat, underlooking the role of Christianity or Christian Zionism, as we can put in the role of the Roman Church, Catholic Church, the role of Anglican Church, the role of the Orthodox, the role of, so many groups form a large percentage of Uganda.